Out of respect for the family members will not be talking except through their attorney, if it comes to that, except this is not a kind of legal session. There will be legal sessions where you'll be dealing with the attorney, but not the family. Such an outpouring of ministers today and young people who need hope and direction and substance. They need the hope that they can make it and don't have to surrender. They need to lift their expectation level of themselves, and they need opportunity. And I want these children to believe that we're going to meet with the appropriate officials. We can rebuild where we live and put people back to work. They need art for their spirits, education for their minds, and they need jobs. There's a commitment to walk through this community. Look at vacant lots. Those vacant lots need landscapers. Those houses should be demolished, should be torn down, and those are jobs. Those will rebuild the houses can be restored. We need not more police, we need Secretary of HUD and labor and education and health care and break up this disparity, racial disparity in this city, and lend itself to a new kind of peace and harmony. I want to, again, Pete, come here, Pete. This young man needs to know that lawyers have to have degrees and ministers and doctors, but you cannot be a bootleg preacher. You can't be. You can't be preaching without a license. You can be arrested, but that's felony. A spiritual felony.
I understand.
Yes. Okay.
Hi, my name is David B. Owens. I'm an attorney with a law firm of Lovey and Lovey in Chicago, based out of Chicago, but we do work here and around the country, and I represent the family of Syville Smith. And the thing that you're not going to hear from any family members today, and that's because today is a day about Syville. It's his funeral. It's a day to celebrate his life, and it's a day to think about a son that was lost, to think about a brother who's no longer there, to think about a father who is no longer there. And whatever is out there, whatever will come of this politically, whatever this moment means for the city of Milwaukee, today is a day about Syville. And that's what the family wants, and to honor his legacy and think about him, to think about who he was as a person. And there's a full room here, and that's for a reason, because he had a big heart, and he was a loving person, and he was a very much loved person. And regardless of what anybody might want to say or make out of the situation, that's the thing to think about today, and that you, at the end of the day, if you've had a loved one pass away, a brother, that person's never coming back. The moments that you have where that funny joke that they always tell, that thing that annoyed them about you, that you'll miss, that oh man, he always sent me the weirdest text, the weirdest Snapchat, something like that. That's what's going through the hearts and minds of the family today. So while there may be another day to talk about the struggle and the pursuit for justice, today is a day about remembering a person who is lost. There is one more.
Families well represented. We want to thank you for having been such a steady and sturdy force for the family, and they want us to convey to the public how much they appreciate your work.
Thank you. There is one more thing that compounds the frustration today, and that's being in the dark. The family doesn't know what happened or why it happened or how it happened. So imagine all of that stuff burying a family member without even knowing how or why they died. And so that is something that is a tremendous difficulty in this situation. There's a criminal process, but there's a human process. And so as this goes on, the grief will continue for a longer period of time because there's a family in the dark.
Again, for the ministers who come together, will be a part of the peace celebration on tomorrow at the park from 10 to 10. I want to express thanks to them and their congregations in this galaxy of cities across the nation where there are crises, the Dallas, Baton Rouge, Baltimore, Chicago. Here we stand in that galaxy of stars as Milwaukee. We shall work together to rebuild our cities and to rebuild our people and learn to coexist one amongst the other, not co-destroy. Question before we go. Please don't ask the families any questions today, please, because it's not, we've talked about that.
I know
Yes, ma'am.
It's a hard time for everybody. And everybody in there this morning, were they receptive, at least to the hope that you guys are trying to bring about?
They were present, and there was hope. And we did have an altar call, and there was praying and crying and thinking and reflecting. We hope that we'll be successful in getting a response beyond this service for a broader sense of revitalization. We will talk with the mayor and other appropriate officials. We need rebuilding. People need hope and help and jobs and justice. The gaps in Milwaukee, the race disparity gaps in education, in school expulsion, in jailing, in violence is much too great. We must address that in a real way, and we will. Thank y'all. Bye-bye. And for the Cubs, for the Brewers, the Cubs are right down the road.
You got to get out. You got to get out of town. Okay, talking about the Bears.